Hi, my name's Casey, and I'm going to be talking about the effects of weight training versus phase training on the female menstrual cycle. So starting off with a little bit of background information on the female menstrual cycle physiology, a normal cycle length typically consists of days 21 to 35, and then anything outside of this range would be considered irregular. There are typically two phases of the menstrual cycle, with many subphases in between, and so the two main phases are the follicular and luteal phases. The follicular phase consists of days 1 to 14, typically, and then with ovulation being in the middle of this at day 14. And the luteal phase consists of every day after ovulation, so days 15 to 28, or just the end of the cycle, and this can vary from female to female. So moving on into our background of proposed menstrual cycle-based training, this chart was taken straight from Hamilton et al., and what he suggests is basically changing the training modality or training intensities depending on the hormone fluctuations that are occurring in the body. So if we look at the earlier follicular phase and the late luteal phases, we can see that the hormone levels are very low and they're the same at both ends of the cycle. And so he could suggest more regenerative and recovery type based training. And then looking at mid-follicular and mid-luteal phases, we can see that these two training types are very similar. So he suggests more conditioning type training. So you might be doing some running or swimming or using a treadmill or things like that. Looking at the late follicular, ovulation, and early luteal phases, these three phases are very similar in the fact that you can do more high-intensity weight training work and speed work as well. Now moving into our phase training that our subjects will be participating in, we took the considerations from Hamilton et al. And applied them to our phase training. So if we look at our phase 1, which is the early follicular phase, or menstruation, we can see that there's some anaerobic work, light conditioning, with a little bit of full body weight training. So we have 20 minutes of light intervals along with full body strength training, and this is going to be very low intensity, maybe even body weight type exercises. When we look at the mid-follicular phase, this is going to consist of a lot more conditioning type work. So we'll be doing stationary cycling or elliptical work, and then following that there will be 10 minutes of a stretch session. Phases 3 and 4 are where we can do more high-intensity strength training type exercises, so the university's strength and conditioning coach will be taking care of those two phases in our study. Phase 5, which is the mid-luteal phase, is going to be very similar to phase 2 in the type of work they're doing, so it's going to be stationary cycling again or elliptical work, and then also 10 minutes of stretching after that. We are just going to slightly up the intensity from phase 2. Finally, in phase 6, we have the late luteal phase, and in this phase it's going to be more recovery based, and so they're going to be doing lightweight training, either very lightweight or body weight exercises, and then to get that recovery in there, they're going to be doing lots of mobility and stretching afterwards. So finally, for our statistical analysis, we will be running an independent t-test, and this will be evaluated through IBM SPSS software version 29, and our significance level will be set at a p-value of less than 0.05. Thank you for listening to this presentation, and here are the references.